all ministers under the new Jamaica Labour Party government will be given a job letter. That job letter has a timeline of 2 years and 6 months with key performance targets which are agreed upon by the cabinet, focused on two things: economic growth and job creation. Everything that they do must lead towards economic growth and job creation. Failure to achieve those specific targets within the time period are consequential. And then secondly, they will get a 90-day target. In other words, we want to be able to give a report card on the first 100 days of achievements. So they will get a 90-day target that they must achieve, and these are what we call the low-hanging changes that can be made within the first 90 days. And all of that is aligned to our manifesto.
Break for those employees earning up to $1.5 million annually.
The Jamaica Labour Party will remove income tax from the salaries of approximately 118,000 workers. This includes most teachers, nurses, security forces, and many public and private sector workers. You could take home as much as $18,000 more on your pay per month.
But on assuming office, the JLP found out that there were scarce resources to finance its election promise. There was no gas tax as the party had hoped, and as such, the April 1 deadline for implementation of the tax policy was never met. But the party shrugged that off, and Finance Minister Audley Shaw made this announcement when he opened the budget debate on May 12.
And so when we presented our 10-point plan, which included 1.5, this was not just a political gimmick, it wasn't at all. It was something that was well grounded in research into the situation, the feeling, the suffering of the people.
A government without a growth plan. That's how opposition leader Andrew Holness has described the Portia Simpson Miller administration. Mr. Holness poured scorn on the government's handling of the economy as he made his contribution to the 2015-2016 budget debate in Parliament on Thursday. More on this report from Tanika Thomas.
For opposition leader Andrew Holness, the government's 3 year in office is tantamount to failure. He says little has been done to ease the financial burden Jamaicans are faced with. Making his budget presentation in Gordon House on Thursday, Mr. Holness argues that Jamaicans are worse off today than they were in 2011 under the former JLP administration. Holness claims rising food prices, a devalued currency, and high unemployment are just some of the failures of the Portia Simpson Miller government. To bring across his point, he returned with his favorite analogy, the food basket, demonstrating how spending power has diminished drastically for a minimum wage earner. He compared what a low-income earner was able to afford in 2011 versus 2015.
This has no oxtail or curry goat. This is the reality of the People's National Party government on the backs of Jamaica. This is what you can get in Jamaica now. You can still get that dinner. You get one tin of sardine. You can only get one tin of mackerel. This is the best demonstration of where the country has gone under the JLP.
Mr. Holness contends that a JLP government would do better at managing the economy. He says if the economy does not grow at a sustainable rate of at least 5%, then the IMF stipulations will become unbearable for nationals.
Wagwan family, manners and respect. Corrupt Prime Minister, no problem, man. No people. Everybody pandy. The dirty boss, it seems, put them arm around such man in support. Well, information minister come out and say, boy, such man are the best. But in a response, she could never defend his character or his integrity. There's no way in a response. I'm going to make you guys hear it. There's nothing about how the Prime Minister is a man of integrity and him have good character and I trust his blah, blah, blah. No. All I can hear from her is just, let's listen, people.
Can the Prime Minister effectively lead when his name has been linked to so many adverse IC findings?
I think the Prime Minister can definitely lead, and if you see what is happening, he is leading. He's leading our country very well. As I started this post-cabinet press briefing, I spoke about our unemployment rate at record low. When we got to 5%, I thought it was record, and we weren't going to go any lower. Then we went to 4%. Then we went to 3.6% unemployment. That is unheard of in Jamaica. And all of these things that we've seen where we are lauded around the world for, especially in terms of our economy, that was all done under the leadership of the most honorable Dr. Andrew Holness. He is the one that has led us through COVID and led us beautifully through COVID. He is the one that has been steering us in terms of relooking the way we do infrastructure. When we look around our country, it looks completely different. If you ask any visitor who has not been to Jamaica for a while, how they feel about Jamaica when they come here, they say it looks like a very different place, and it is a good thing. And that has been led, all of that has been led by our Prime Minister. And so this is an individual who has given his life to really supporting Jamaica in our dream of becoming a country that is seen as meeting its potential. That's what he has done. And so you may ask me, how do I feel about this? I personally feel really bad about what is happening. And I tell you why. Because I see someone who is working really hard for our country, and who I see his reputation being tarnished month after month after month. And what does he do? He gets up every day and he holds all of us in cabinet accountable. He tells us we're not doing enough. You have to do more. And Minister Williams is here and she knows it. He keeps pushing us. Our country needs you to do more. And so this is someone who I admire, and this is someone who I would love to see more leaders like this in our country going forward. Leaders who are thinking big. Leaders who, in spite of any challenges, whether it's personal challenges to them or challenges to our country like a pandemic, get up and lead us well. And he has been doing that in spite of everything that has been thrown at him. And that says a lot about him and about his commitment to our country.
Remove your tongue, woman. Remove your tongue. Remove your tongue. Stop swirling around the tongue, so remove your tongue. This woman a kiss butt. No, let me tell you something. She a kiss ass. People don't like me, I tell. She a go hard. One the boss feel good. The boss is feeling down at this moment. But with the PNP them there, wait for the press conference. Are they waiting on the labor right to go to the press conference first? When I come out tomorrow, PNP, when I put an announcement, is there an announcement from the PNP when they might have a press conference? Now, you see that woman, you know the sad thing about this? You know the sad thing about it, people? You have young politicians out here with a bright future ahead of them, forced to come out and to come defend a corrupt politician. She couldn't defend his character. She couldn't talk about his integrity. None of that she couldn't talk about. She couldn't talk about his accomplishment. The only thing she talked about is Big C. The only thing she talked about a Big C. Would never like to see another disaster under Andrew Holness to lock down everybody. $400,000 for a mass. Get money for the people and give them. What kind of good Andrew Holness do under Big C? What not go on with? What do you forget? What do you forget Andrew Holness lock down everybody under Big C? It was under Big C when Andrew Holness get rich. 2020, 2021, him and him son them and him family them. It was under 2020, 2021 when the whole of we have faced consequences and suffered and hungry a yard to Big C. At them time, the man chose to get rich. But the saddest part about this is to see a young politician have to come out here, come defend a crook. That's how I see it. That's how I look at it. A young politician coming out here to defend a crook. That's a sad day in Jamaica. But people, and I know this man do it, you know. A long time the Prime Minister do it. Let me go to a short break and I'll be back.
Is alleged that I had omitted bank accounts from my declarations. And one of these accounts was incorrectly reported as a US dollar balance by a financial institution. These matters were cleared as the accounts in question, by my recollection, were dormant, previously reported, and the balance in them were around Jamaican $3,000 and 200 euros. Other accounts were identified and alleged to be belonging to me, but undeclared. Some of these accounts were opened by my parents as far back as 1975, and my name later added, probably while I was still a child. Many Jamaicans add their children to their accounts for survivorship reasons and in the event of emergencies. I have never claimed these as my assets, and I am satisfied that the Director of Corruption Prosecution ruled that there was insufficient evidence to support claims that I intentionally omitted bank accounts from my declarations, and that there is greater evidence to support my explanation as opposed to evidence to the contrary.
So there are two separate investigations that emanated from the Prime Minister's statutory declarations. I want you to discuss that first and tell us what were those two separate investigations. One relates to the omission of information for which the Director of Corruption Prosecution ruled, and then the second investigation was around illicit enrichment.
Well, I would say on the 4 accounts, there were 2 related to his parents put his name on, one with a former constituency manager and another one. Now, it is important to look at the detail. The Director of Investigation said he brought to Mr. Holness's attention on 3 occasions that his name was in fact on the accounts. And in spite of that, Mr. Holness did not declare those as part of his declaration. Secondly, and even more importantly, the Director of Investigation found that in 2 of those accounts, monies were flowing through the accounts from accounts solely controlled by Mr. Holness and 2 accounts solely controlled by Mr. Holness. So in essence, he's saying Mr. Holness said he knew nothing about these accounts, but funds are flowing in the region of millions of dollars. Deposits put in today, taken out the following week. 2 accounts controlled solely by him. So the question is, was Mr. Holness being truthful when he said, well, it's my parents' account and I don't know anything about it?
Welcome, my brother. What you talk to me then?
I listen to social media from morning, and everybody keep on singing the same sentiment.
Yeah.
What happened to the PMP? Did you hear the press conference from them? Any press release? Anything at all?
May I try to see what to PMP? We don't know what happened to them. I've not seen anything. May I score them when we're done? You not see nothing.
I'm listening from morning, bro. Everybody keep on calling. It's time for a national march. Protest. Peaceful. We need to get rid of this government. Only the people can do it, brother. I think enough is enough. We play by the books. We wait. We give him time. We give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's getting deeper and deeper. And when all said and Jamaica left in our mud, we are no international partners are going to wait. The country heading, bro. I'm telling you. No press conference from mine. Nothing at all. Nothing to see here. No. I cannot believe this, man.
We tell people to PNP for my platform about the laziness and them always have to leave from behind when they was out bomb. If I the right boy them out there this morning, all day, all day tomorrow next week. They would stop.
Carlos, you know what they never like Portia Simpson Miller? Because this is stuff like this. Portia out there. Her voice is she out there a long time. She come on, we put her in black and white. Let us demonstrate peacefully. She's a person like that. She's from Jamaica. I don't know what's going on, man. The country is sliding, bro. The country gone. I work with them, brother. I can't have a day I work on me co-worker and I ask me say what's going on, man. It's not a good look internationally, brother.
Everybody concerned. Everybody's concerned.
They say the people sitting down. They're saying the people sitting down.
When people ask me a foreign, they always ask me, so what the people are doing? Why are they not doing anything?
Man, I don't know. I literally, I'm shocked. You guys more important to Jamaican people, more out. The opposition is important to Jamaican. Because they're not saying anything, man.
Jaja.
They're not saying anything. They're not saying anything, bro. I'm very disappointed. To be honest. Let them come out this man and say 2 words and say, we will, after we look to it, we're going to give a better press conference.
Yeah.
Say something to the Jamaican people.
Say something, anything.
Say anything, man.
Yep, I told you.
Say anything, man. Say something.
Say something to it. Say something, like nothing to see here. From last week, appear corruption every day, a corruption a day from last week. Right? And when I hear from the PNP, they have low-hanging fruit, what Obama them put fling on this corrupt government, yeah. And then fling it, bro.
If you guys don't want the government, say it, man. Let somebody else take over. If PNP not ready for the country, that's say it. I seem like you guys are ready neither. To be honest, it seems like you guys are ready neither, man. It's Carlos, it's bad to say it. But what let me see here, the Integrity Commission say they're not sending the report to the DPP because they saw what happened with the previous case. Carlos, the country is gone.
Not really.
The IC said they don't trust the DPP.
Yep.
Oh, what?
No surprise there. Because they know what's going to happen.
They know what's going to happen.
So DPP not run the country clean either.
Hello. The IC said they won't send the report there. Because that's what happened to Mr. Barnett report. I never see a country corrupt like this. Even the IC feared of the corruption. The IC must say they put in the works, but it's the works not being a fruit. Because if you bear fruit, who's supposed to bear the fruit? Let me chop it down. Not to see here. Because of one man. Bro.
One man, bro. Imagine that. One man. And then decide to go along with him, bro.
I want nobody coming from Jamaica talk about I listen, I don't talk. Yo. Man, I'm pissed, Carlos. PNP just come with 2 lines. Said we're gonna give you a better press conference. Where are you guys? What are you guys doing?
Them are right to prepare for the press conference on yesterday. They see them advertising. They know what they are doing now. So they run out now first before the PNP and giving them narrative. Right? Fear, praise, and nonsense. But me yet.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something people don't like. I'm going to say it from my heart. And I observe a lot. If there was a by-election or some election in the couple months time, people will come out long time with a press conference. What to get from this?
Yeah.
Carlos, you think I'm stupid, bro?
But a long time they are talking, I'm say, look here. Opposition is opposed, Jeanette Calder said that from jump. So many that big wigs where, I said, boy, them need to be the watchdog. Them are the watchdog. And not just bloggers alone, brother. And not just we alone, brother. Hold on there. How come bloggers see things so on a regular? All day. Look how much things me I see. Tonight, me know other blogger. This evening, no way in a command. This morning, me know blogger out here. How come bloggers see the thing they talk about?
Look here. When Andrew Holness was opposition, you see, man was active, bro. The man used opposition and win election. He used his mouth
Yeah.
Him use issues and win the election.
Yeah, the real issues, the way the things that the people them want, you know. That's why we know say him know better, you know. That's why I say all the time, Andrew Holness know better. Why am I do to the country is deliberate?
Of course. Of course, man. Honestly, me search from morning, me search everywhere. We see a press conference from PMP. Nothing to see here.
Nobody they guide, so we don't know what I go on. So I don't know what I go on.
If there was a by-election or something, yeah, you didn't come out long time.
Yeah.
I try. Yo, we don't know if fuck up and we don't feel low Jamaica, man. Make who really want to run Jamaica, man. We need that third party who will serious and want to run Jamaica, bro. Get rid of these two cats. I'm pissed, man.
And are you alone? It's about time now, and I believe, say, the PNP must take off their foot off of the gas. They must take off their foot off of the gas. Too much.
Bro, you said the gas must have press hard.
Floor the gas. Straight to election.
Floor the gas. Straight to election.
Well,
yes.
You know, so a serious time now, brother. That election now, a very serious election, you know. You see that election now? Boy. It's a defining moment in our history that the election will come up in our people. Because if such man get back up in it, you know, people. A hell, you know. A hell, you know, people see hell yet?
PMP members, when you don't have to wait for Mark Golding, when you have a portfolio, drop something, send it to him, give him an email, say, I'm going to say this on the behalf of us, just to make the people understand, say, boy, we are here. What's going on here? What is really going on here?
We don't know what going on with them. Them lazy too. A long time I said on the platform, and we talk to them hard, we talk to them soft. Me beat Mark Golding with 2x4, me beat him with switch. Hey.
Hey, man. Boy. Every platform me go, people, I say, where is the PMP? Where is the PMP? You cannot peaceful man. So everybody will why? Do something. Create something. People are tired. Create something, man.
Give a message. Even just a voice message. Put it on your page so we can hear and say, boy, this is what Mark Golding say. Nothing. Nothing. Next day, night I come and nothing for the PNP.
Nothing.
Yeah, what me tell you, say? When your opponent a fight, when you give them a fist and them stumble, at that time I rush in for the kill. You know, wait until they recuperate and come back up strong on foot again. That is what the PNP do all the time. I tell you, say the PNP remind me of the Democrat, and the Republic and the JLP is a Republican. May I tell you?
You're right.
The PNP remind me of Democrat. I do everything politically correct and slow, and you know. And when the Republican come in, they just run over everything. Yeah?
Bro, I say for the year, just a message from the PMP from morning. I don't feel more comfortable. I swear to God. I swear. You guys are the opposition, man. You don't see anything wrong with it. What's going on here with this report? You don't tear it apart yet? You still read it? Huh? But you have a press conference this morning saying that the Prime Minister is the best Prime Minister.
Can you believe that? Them give the JLP time for balance up back. Andrew Holness get a thump yesterday on the back foot. They make him balance up back, come back and punch back today in a press conference. You can't make this up a clap. PNP should have buried him.
Another rain, freezing rain, me they attacked in. Me have to calm down myself, you know. The freezing rain we have right now. And outside they attack you, bro. I'm in the cold, the hot.
Yeah.
And a freezing temperature me right now, bro. Come on, Jamaican, man. Come on, man. We have to do better, bro.
Yeah, man. People tapping on your neck, man. Tapping on neck. The brother have whole money for dash way in an election. Jamaica people cannot be trusted. So every chance the PNP get a pure gas of the press, I understand some of the ahead. But not because you know seeing the way behind, you know. All the things I saw it and go. Press gas. Mirror.
You have been for the rope. You have been for the count.
Mirror.
Come on, man. Come on, man. This is unacceptable, bro.
I first box I've ever seen thump someone name Stagger, you know, going for kill. I don't see my going do all the time. Not going for kill. No, sir. If I the Andrew Holness administration, I say, you know what time I see them tell lie on the PNP them and it on news.
I'm good for time, bro.
Eh? You know what time they just make up sitting out of the blues and they make news for days? Everybody can get a pinch off of Mark Golding. Everybody can get a lick off of him.
Look how much bright people in my body. Look how much bright people are PMP. You want to tell me say nobody can draw up something from money? Nobody? Huh? All of the bright wigs them? Not even the young arm of the PMP? No, man. No.
But me say from last week, there's a corruption a day, and I know me not see PMP. You hear?
No.
Oh.
I told you what's the problem. There's no by-election in the year, nothing now go on yet. So there's nothing to be pressed on here.
I use a plan to use people. I use them to go and use people. They don't work for me.
Yes.
I'm tired of the whole of them too, you know. And people can know that. That's why I come and talk about PMP sometimes when I feel away. But people, come on, man. Our country are dealing with
I don't care who want. We not their feelings are what. We are talking about country now, bro.
Country, man. We not accept no bullshit from nobody, man. No matter who.
It's full time, man. It's full time. You see, I really pan social media the other day. What? A pound and a half of chicken back Carlos. Me can't buy nothing more, bro. That could have been my mother, brother. A pound and a half of chicken back on a Sunday. My God. I will sit down. Man, a 20-year bank account and a big apartment and this. I will sit down.
Yeah, man, while they're in the office. People, can you imagine when other people in other world leaders are hear this? That while the prime minister in the office, him in a hot waters right now, a big building, even in business partner to him put in the office. And what kind of, like the brother come on earlier and said, this is a madness. This is madness.
Carlos, this is madness. This is not, yo, right? And I said to God, Mr. Andrew Holness, 2015, the man said him not sitting in the parliament with a man who don't want to resign or show no emotion of stepping down. Richard was on. 10 shots to poor people. Set them out of the sun and rain. PMP should have that every minute they should have that head. So this is what you say, sir. So we cannot sit in parliament with all these corruptions, sir, with you. Jesus.
Let me tell you something, man. If I never blog as PNP dead in the water, I'm not ask you.
Dead.
If I never we blog as PNP dead in the water, I tell you guys that over and over. It's not Mark Golding hard work. Make him reach us so. Give thanks, me not say Dayton Campbell no work hard, you know. Yeah, but I know they hard work because members say them down in the poll, you know. All the things that go on against them, you know. Them have big old conflict in the party, you know. Them not have a number of people, you know. A vloggers make people see them again, you know.
Yeah.
A vloggers make people see them again, you know. And them come up and them a float right now, then they are head and a lead, and them nah take it and run with it, brother. That may I see. Enough time when Andrew Holness a stag and a stumble. I'm say when the PNP they go give him a thump and knock him down flat. Me I look we can't find them. We say what kind of fight in this?
They say they come out, come out press conference this man and pick up the Prime Minister.
Can you imagine that? When we see that, we say, all right, when we see that, we say, okay, good. But they come out, come talk. I'm one the PNP going to go crush them now. I'll know.
Yes.
You shame?
I know.
Shame?
I know.
I know. That's why the work I do is not for politics, it's for my country. That's why I do what I do.
Yes, sir.
It's for my country, bro. Oh. Because we could never be a blogger for PNP and come out and a chat and recognize this and acknowledge that they're missing in all of this. Think about it if they get paid by politicians to come out and come with the mouthpiece. You're not going to see this, you know? You're not going to see this. You're going to think, say, boy, PNP do everything right. And some Marky G stay, man. You know the man stay already, man. Then the man, they don't come out for everything, man. I saw the man, brother.
No, I hear that.
Sure.
I don't want to hear that. Nonsense.
Show me they're going to do different when they come in. Show me it.
Nonsense. Yes, man.
Show me they're going to do different when they come in, man. Come and tired of PNP and liberate, you know. A chance we are given because Andrew Holness is bad and we don't see nobody else. You're lucky they never have a third party about you. Because people have forgot the whole hour. The one third party we have been not showing up yet. So, hey.
Carlos, what I'm saying, they have the young arm of the PMP could have put out a statement. We have the woman movements could have put out a statement. Come on, man. This is like, come on, man. Listen to me. If you don't want to run the country, I don't want the government. Step aside. Because we see what happened already. It's not going to happen again. I'm telling that social media is here.
You tell them.
Going nowhere.
Andrew Holness are the last man like him we're going to have of his kind. Remember that?
Last.
Andrew Holness is the last of his kind in the office. Remember that?
Try to remember that. Brother, keep the program going, brother.
Hey, respect me, brother.
One love.
Manners here?
One love, brother.
Yeah, man.
We'll start anytime.
So, gentle people, what do you think of the first? This is where I do the corruption, where I do. A years I do that, man. This is where under investigation before we even turn prime minister people. A long time brother under investigation. So, when they come out and say the prime minister is a good prime minister, them blah, 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 and do a wonderful job. This young lady here is a young politician. She have a future ahead of her, and she have to come take up dustpan and go up on aisle 6 to defend a man with a nasty character. And what is that a good example for this young lady and other young politician, aspiring politician who not in the power yet, and I look say, boy, one day more go run the country? Is the prime minister a good example for anybody to imitate? Okay? Is the prime minister a good character where you want your son to follow? But I don't know the prime minister going with this. A long time ago with this, you know. Don't forget Zara Burton from 18 Degrees North told us about who Andrew Holness is. And they're going to make you tell you now about the man today again. Because this right here, this is what started the first Integrity Commission investigation. This reporting, this is what you call investigative journalism. It triggered the first integrity investigation on Andrew Holness. Let's listen. Zara Burton.
Is Andrew Holness paying his part? Is that why you didn't pay the property taxes on the home? What the Prime Minister didn't want you to know before the election. And later, Holness sounds the warning on corruption to his new cabinet.
Corruption will not be tolerated in this.
Yeah, they hear it, guys.
His own record raised questions when it comes to awarding public contracts.
When each side is in government, there are uncomfortable levels of awarding of contracts to persons who are either political supporters, campaign financiers, or other connected parties.
UIC don't give it up for work with, man.
Taxpayer money for a contract to his associates.
UIC don't give it nothing. We don't see nothing.
Of 18 Degrees North. "18 Degrees North" is brought to you by
or me.
When I hear people,
with FGV.
My students are
when I
learning
hear the
to
video,
find
that's
the
why I
right
make sure
formula.
I hear.
That's what my bank.
Not good news. So, the growth we have been having has come to an end. It is now decline. That's where we're into now. And as you heard from Dr. Henry there, for calendar year 2024, we are going to end the year poorer than how we started it, collectively in terms of our output of goods and services. Not good. And therefore, making the connection, the Prime Minister would have been aware of this. He would have been aware of this, or ought to have been aware of this. Hence, what we heard from him on Tuesday, because he would have known that, listen, the economy has stopped growing. It is now declining. Hence, what he told.
Guys, don't let me know if I hear it good here. Bless up everybody. Ransford McLeod, Annie Jones, Jam Flix, I say boy, if Marky G what tell you say about the UIC party. Look here, man. UIC used to be on this platform. Yeah. Remember, I was the voice of UIC when UIC just come out. We're not even go back down them road there, and we're not going to even explain Wagwan. Producer Wayne Wagwan, my brother. Manners and respect. Well, we listen this from Zara Burton tell about the earlier Andrew Holness, where you see the whole of them are praise. And I know the man in a corruption. And I know the man in a corruption and I call up him, look up, pick the name from them an infant.
Hello, I'm Zara Burton, and welcome to 18 Degrees North. It's from right here in Kingston, Jamaica, 18 degrees north of the equator, where every week we're going to take you on a global journey with us as we focus on Caribbean stories that have global impact. We begin our show with Jamaica's newest Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. During the 2016 general elections, his house became front and center. The public, and perhaps more so the ruling People's National Party, they wanted to know why a St. Lucian company owned his house and where he got the money, since news reports had put its value at about $2 million, a figure Holness has not confirmed. After all, Holness had been a politician most of his professional life, didn't come from money, and his salary at the time was just over $60,000 each year, not counting allowances. Holness answered several of the questions asked, but we at 18 Degrees North had others. What we found was an interesting series of property purchases and an uneven playing field when it comes to personal tax matters. It also shed light on the relationship between Jamaican politicians and their associates in the awarding of public contracts. We're staying right here in Jamaica at 18 degrees north and 77 degrees west.
The Labour Party believe that every poor man must build his castle. Every poor man must build him big house. And we not run to feed. We are going to help you achieve that. That is why we say education be free. Health be free. And we must make the place secure so you can live and enjoy yourself.
This is the house, built on 3/4 of an acre, complete with stone-cut wall in the exclusive Beverly Hills neighborhood just outside Kingston. It's a huge upgrade from where Jamaica's newest Prime Minister and then opposition leader Andrew Holness says he was born.
I was born in a 2-bedroom board house at 56 Cumberland Road in a Spanish town. My father is still a farmer and my mother is a retired civil servant.
Property records showed the Beverly Hills land was purchased by St. Lucian-based company ADMAT Incorporated for $300,000 in 2011, 3 months before Holness became Prime Minister of Jamaica for the first time, and when he was Minister of Education. There's no mortgage listed. In a statement, Holness says he's the sole director of ADMAT and a shareholder, along with his 2 sons, Adam and Matthew. Holness says he got the money from funds in his accounts at 2 of Jamaica's investment banks and used his savings, salary, loans, and credit from suppliers established through his wife, who is a real estate developer, to build the house, costing him approximately $52 million, or around $525,000 US. He says a St. Lucian structure was used for estate planning. His attorney, Patrick Bailey, says there's that, and the additional potential benefit of avoiding transfer taxes.
If the house at Beverly Hills is the only asset and he was selling it, he would simply sell the company, sell the shares. The company would have its shareholding transferred from him and his children to the new purchasers, whereas the title would remain unchanged because the new purchaser will be the owners of ADMAT and be the owners of the property. So in that case, there's no transfer from one entity to another. So you save on transfer tax and stamp duties and those sorts of things.
Civil society activist Carol Narcisse says the leader of the country shouldn't be trying to avoid taxes.
Especially if you're a prime minister and you're telling your citizens that they need to conform to the regulatory environment that you have designed, that you do not think you can adhere to, because it is inimical to your interest to adhere to it, or inimical to the interest of your children's future to adhere to it, then there is a major, there's a major inconsistency there that you need to explain.
Join us in a partnership for prosperity. Let's change Jamaica for the better. Choose prosperity.
Does he own other entities in there? In Admat?
In Admat?
Yeah.
I think he has at least one other property in Admat.
And where is that?
That is in somewhere in the Arcadia area, right?
And that's considered land or also?
No, it's an apartment. Actually, he's now in the process of selling that unit. He owes suppliers because suppliers gave him credit for the house he's building in Beverly Hills.
And source of funds for that was what?
That one, I can't recall all of those details, but I seem to remember that he's always used the house that he lives in and get loans and that sort of thing.
We checked the title for the property where Bailey says both Honus and his wife lived at the time of our interview and found no additional loans or mortgages other than those originally taken out in 2002 when they bought the house for 7 million Jamaican dollars, around 144,000 US dollars back then. So you were satisfied then with the source of the funds in both cases?
Oh, absolutely. He saved in US stocks and amongst his portfolio. So he was saving because these are savings.
Is that savings from him alone or him and his wife?
I don't know that level of personal detail. That would be. Yeah, I don't know that level.
Of what you know, is there any evidence?
I know of nothing. I know of nothing else that he owns in relation to Admat. Okay. He currently owns it.
We checked the title for the Arcadia property and found that it was indeed purchased by the same St. Lucian company, Admat Incorporated, in 2008, again when Honus was Minister of Education. The price tag, 16 million Jamaican dollars, around 219,000 US back then, and again, no mortgage was listed. Further, we also checked whether Admat owned additional properties and found one more. A half-acre lot, also built in Beverly Hills on Wycliffe Close in February 2009, also when Honus was Minister of Education, price tag, around 15 million Jamaican dollars, almost 173,000 US dollars, and again, no mortgage listed. So you've never heard of this Wycliffe Close property before today?
Let me put it this way. I have never handled, and when I look at the transfer, I see the names of lawyers who I know. And he's entitled to have more than one lawyer. We all have to eat.
So all told, when it comes to properties, there's the Great House Boulevard home that Honus and his wife bought with a mortgage while Honus was a mere member of parliament. And in the 4 years he was Minister of Education, earning the equivalent of around 60,000 US dollars per year or 90,000 with allowances, there was the Arcadia apartment, no mortgage listed. The land at Wycliffe Close in Beverly Hills, no mortgage listed. The land for the Shenstone Beverly Hills house he's building, no mortgage listed. And around 525,000 US dollars spent building the house in the 3 years after Honus's Jamaica Labour Party lost the election in 2011. Honus, through a member of his team, said he wouldn't comment on the source of funds for any of his properties before the election, but even after, he didn't. He also said he would make his financial statement public at the end of March 2016, but he didn't. Despite several calls to Juliette Honus, a property developer, chartered accountant, and newly elected member of parliament, she didn't get back to us.
Transfer taxes, stamp duties, and estate taxes.
What about property taxes?
Come on, he has to pay property tax.
At the time of our initial checks in the 2 weeks before the election, the house in Beverly Hills had an outstanding balance since 2013 on the tax administration's website. Amount, about $174,000 or US $1,400 approximately. Property taxes on the Wycliffe Close land in Beverly Hills were listed as not having been paid since 2009, a total of about $175,000 or US around $1,400. And the Great House Boulevard home that he owned with his wife Juliette, that was listed as outstanding since 2014, owing Jamaicans $64,000 or about 526 US dollars. We call the tax administration to confirm. Volume is 1118.
Andrew Holness?
Yeah.
The amount is $64,000 outstanding and $50 for 2 years.
All in, Honus or his entities were listed at the time as owing almost 413,000 Jamaican dollars, around $3,400 US. It wasn't clear if there were any amounts owing for the apartment at Arcadia Drive. Caroline Hay, former Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, says, in general, no leader should be backed up on their taxes. We did not ask her specifically about Honus.
No public official ought to be behind on their taxes. You are in a position when you're a public official in a position of trust, and one would imagine an example to the nation as to what values we want in positions of leadership.
Days after 18 Degrees North brought it to Honus's attention, and before the election, the tax administration's website reflected zero balances for the 2 Beverly Hills properties at Shenstone Drive and Wycliffe Close. However, taxes on the house he owns with his wife were still listed as owing as of our last check, March 18th, 2016, even as he became Prime Minister of Jamaica for a second time.
That I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica.
Coming up on 18 Degrees North, too close for comfort? How Andrew Honus signed off on taxpayers' money for a contract to his associates. 18 Degrees North just uncovered a trail of property purchases linked to Jamaica's newest Prime Minister, Andrew Honus. Now see how that trail led us down another path, that of government contracts awarded to his associates.
You have a voters list in Olympic Gardens of over 30,000 people. How many of them you think are criminals? Answer me. Give me a number. How many you think of them are murderers involved in murder? I can tell you that it is not more than 20.
Oh yeah. Songo mbona wewe. Mbona wewe. Mbali nanga Kasongo yeah. Mbali nanga. Kasongo mbona wewe. Songa libala. Oh yeah.
Corruption will not be tolerated in this government.
The property at Wycliffe Close in Beverly Hills remains an open lot today. As it turns out, the owner, Andrew Honus's ADMAT Incorporated, applied to the National Environmental Planning Agency to build townhouses in 2010, but that application was turned down. Representing ADMAT in this application was one Robert Garvin.
And Robert Garvin is not a director in any way, shape, or form of ADMAT.
No, he's not.
But why would Robert Garvin's name then appear on an application to the land development?
Because he acting as agent, he's in the process. Yeah. That's not unusual.
According to Companies Office records, Robert Garvin is or was the director of other entities affiliated with Andrew or Juliet Honus: Positive Jamaica Foundation Limited, Sunshine Mobile, West Central St. Andrew Trust Limited, Omega Bridge Finance, and the now removed Delido Taxi Service.
Who is Robert Garvin? Robert Garvin.
Never met the name, never heard the name. But I do remember Positive. But I did set up Positive Jamaica, I remember that.
Right, but he's one.
Yeah.
Positive Jamaica is in part a director by Garvin.
I know he was a director of
and by the way, one more thing. What about the fact that Garvin used this address, 28 Herb McKinley?
Because this is my address. It's precisely what I'm saying. You're at 28 Herb McKinley, no?
I know. Yeah. Why Robert Garvin used it and you...
Because we set up the company here. Garvin, I'm not saying that. I don't remember the name.
Separately, Robert Garvin is also listed as the director of Westcon Construction, along with one Donovan Simpson. Garvin used the address 25 Dominica Drive while setting up Westcon, the same address he and Honus used when registering West Central St. Andrew Trust Limited. Government records show Westcon Construction as receiving 14 government contracts, totaling 28.5 million Jamaican dollars, or around 386,000 US dollars. This was between 2006 and 2009, even as Honus or his wife shared directorships with Garvin on 4 entities. 12 of the 14 contracts were under the JLP government, with which Honus has a career-long affiliation. 9 of the 14 list 0 or only 1 tender. 10 of the 14 were granted by the Minister of Education when Andrew Honus was minister, and by the National Works Agency and Social Development Commission for work in Honus's constituency. Honus even instructed the Social Development Commission to pay Westcon Construction just under 1.5 million Jamaican dollars, or around US $21,000 back then. He signed the document himself. There was only one bidder for cleaning, bushing, and trimming of the roadways in Honus's constituency of West Central St. Andrew, and no procurement committee approval. Payment was requested by Honus December 20th, 2007, and paid promptly on the same day. When contacted in a general sense, the current Social Development Commission head, Dwayne Vernon, said, while not the norm, it is possible to have a request and the payment on the same day, especially when there's a contract in place with stated payment dates. Vernon, who didn't address this contract specifically, also said, the SDC does not procure for constituencies. This is the prerogative of the MP and his or her project officer. Civil society activist Carol Narcisse says, awarding of government contracts in Jamaica has been a long-standing cause for concern.
When each side is in government, there are uncomfortable levels of awarding of contracts to persons who are either political supporters, campaign financiers, or other connected parties.
We asked Honus whether he declared his relationship with Garvin while contracts were being awarded to Westcon Construction, but he didn't get back to us. We called Garvin, but he said he couldn't talk at the time, and he didn't answer our text message. When contacted, Garvin's partner in Westcon Construction, Donovan Simpson, he tried to distance himself from the inner workings of the company.
I don't know where these projects. I don't know how much was collected.
So you didn't benefit from these contracts, that's what you're saying?
No.
Even though his name is not on the filing, Andrew Honus is a part of this company?
No, not to my knowledge. No, man, he's not a part of it.
Do you know if Garvin is a friend of Andrew Honus?
Yes, yeah, man, they are friends. They are very close. Before Andrew went in politics, you know, I met him at Seattle's office because Robert and Taylor were very close also.
Okay.
So the first time I saw Andrew is when Robert invited me to the Seattle's office in New Kingston.
We searched, but could find no record of Honus declaring his relationship with Robert Garvin or Donovan Simpson. And the Office of the Contractor General would only say that we should request an investigation, which we did. When asked in a general sense, and not about Honus specifically, Caroline Hayes says these kinds of relationships should be declared.
In the procurement rules and guidelines that I've read, there's been a concern about whether there is a connection either directly, meaning you have an interest in a company that's bidding for public assets and public benefit, or indirectly, meaning it's in the name of a wife, in the name of a girlfriend, in the name of a child, in the name of an associate. It's a duty of our staff and any other public officers and officials directly or indirectly involved in the procurement process, especially in the preparation of bidding documents, evaluation, contract negotiations, contract management, and payments, to declare any potential conflicts of interest.
Whether Honus declared his relationship with Garvin remains unclear. However, Bailey, his attorney, is adamant that all assets associated with Andrew Honus were declared.
In every case, everything that he has owned from the time that from even the time he set up ADMAT, going back to 2001, everything has been declared.
We checked with the Integrity Commission, but no one ever got back to us. Information submitted is usually confidential.
The law that governs it explicitly states that these declarations cannot be made public. And if they are made public, whoever makes them public is subject to a fine of over $1 million, right? These declarations of assets need to be brought under the ambit of the Access to Information Act so that we can request to see and be given or given a good reason why we can't be given.
In Jamaica, breaches of the rules governing the awarding of government contracts carry a possible fine of $1,000 or around $8 and/or 3 months in prison. See what happens when we try to get answers from Andrew Holness on the campaign trail. Next, on 18 Degrees North.
There's DIY, and there's doing it.
Jamaica's newest Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, may have wrested control from the People's National Party, in part because of his 10-point tax plan. During the election campaign, though, there were skeptics. Critics charged, how was he going to plug the millions in lost revenues in US dollar terms when his plan would essentially eliminate income tax on those earning the equivalent of around $12,000 or less? Holness's plan was to spur spending and generate more revenue from consumption tax while raising taxes on high-end earners. We caught up with Holness on the campaign trail. We asked him what else he had up his sleeve and why at the time was he listed as being behind on his property taxes. Where is the economy going? Have you done any analysis of your tax plan and what economic growth is going to look like in your first year?
I wouldn't want to give you a specific figure.
But your analysis must have produced something that is tangible for the people to understand.
Yeah, but I didn't say I would give you that figure.
But it has produced a figure.
Of course.
Okay.
Otherwise, why would you do that?
Give me a general sense of where we have on the low end and the top end.
I would say to you that if you're going to talk about economic growth, you should be above 3%.
Okay, that's a fair statement to make.
Right.
Let's talk about some of the other taxes that you, tax incentives and lower rates. And
so in
I think there was mention of some transfer taxes as
so
well.
In general, we want to, our tax plan is to reduce transaction taxes. A part of economic growth is to get the velocity of transactions increasing, and particularly in construction and real estate, because those are major employment areas. So we will bring to the levels which we had them before our transfer tax and stamp duties, and estate taxes as well.
You seem to don't like taxes too much because
absolutely. I'm a small government, free enterprise person. I believe that markets work best and taxes are distortionary.
Okay. Is that why you didn't pay the property taxes on the home?
No, my property taxes are paid.
On the THS website, when we did the valuation numbers for your properties, the outstanding taxes are there.
No, my taxes are paid.
When we looked, there was your Great House Boulevard property. There was your property that's owned by ADMAT, which you say you're the sole director of. And then there's another property that we actually found under ADMAT as well up at Wycliffe Close. All three were outstanding. And then we saw that at Wycliffe Close, taxes seem to have been outstanding since 2009. What about the other property, though, at Wycliffe Close?
That I would have to check on. I mean, that's been there for a little while, so I'll have to check on. But I don't want to distract from the message.
No, but you are the person that's saying that you don't necessarily love taxes, yeah?
Yeah.
And so you are the lead. You are a leader of this country, potentially the premier leader of this country come next week. And so I'm asking you the question, as the leader of a country, do you believe that your taxes should have been more up to date than the record reflects?
What I'm saying to you, from my best recollection, I've paid my taxes. Now, if it is that they are outstanding, it's not an issue to pay them.
Okay.
I'm not hiding from that.
But ADMAT is designed for you to avoid potential estate taxes and transfer taxes.
No, it's designed for estate planning purposes.
For estate planning purposes, that means basically that you avoid some sort of taxes. And I'm saying, does it look good for a leader of a country?
I'm not clear that it's, when we set it up, it was never to avoid any kind of taxes. And it's not likely that I would be able to sell everything. It was set up merely as a way of holding assets. It's a holding company. That's it. But in any event, let's be clear. Any citizen of any country is permitted. It's not illegal to establish, and many persons have.
No doubt. I'm not talking about the legality. I'm more talking about, does it look good for a leader to be trying to set up their situation so that they avoid paying tax?
No. Any company can, I think, avoid being in a situation. Look, but my view on the matter is this: you should plan your estate and plan for taxes the best way possible.
You just said a while ago that you don't see a sense where you would be able to sell everything. What's everything?
No.
What's everything?
No, you mentioned 2 properties.
Right. Here's Waycliff Close, right, which is an open land right now.
Look, we'll talk again.
No, one thing I wanted to ask you about.
You've gone.
Hold on, Mr. Honest. Mr. Honest, I must ask you a question.
People, sorry. This report is 8 years old. I want you guys to know that. This piece of investigative journalism, people, please go over 18 Degrees North. Go and check out Zara Burton work. If you don't know her, write it on a piece of paper. 18 Degrees North. Go and go check out her work over there. Yeah? She's unbiased. She have 2x4 over there for PNP and 2x4 for labor right. A real journalist. Yeah? We need couple of in Jamaica. Jamaica that nice. Now, this is the report. What happened 8 years ago that stemmed the first Integrity Commission report on Andrew Holness with the Westcon construction scandal. You remember that? So now we have today, now with all the scandal with the Prime Minister got along with from long time, plus today add up, the Labour them still with him.
Can the Prime Minister effectively lead when his name has been linked to so many adverse IC findings?
I think the Prime Minister can definitely lead, and if you see what is happening, he is leading. He's leading our country very well. As I started this post-cabinet press briefing, I spoke about our unemployment rate at record low. When we got to 5%, I thought it was record, and we weren't going to go any lower. Then we went to 4%. Then we went to 3%, 3.6% unemployment. That is unheard of in Jamaica. And all of these things that we've seen where we are lauded around the world for, especially in terms of our economy, that was all done under the leadership of the most honorable Dr. Andrew Holness. He is the one that has led us through COVID and led us beautifully through COVID. He is the one that has been steering us in terms of relooking the way we do infrastructure. When we look around our country, it looks completely different. If you ask any visitor who has not been to Jamaica for a while, how they feel about Jamaica when they come here, they say it looks like a very different place, and it is a good thing. And that has been led, all of that has been led by our Prime Minister. And so this is an individual who has given his life to really supporting Jamaica in our dream of becoming a country that is seen as meeting its potential. That's what he has done. And so you may ask me, how do I feel about this? I personally feel really bad about what is happening. And I tell you why. Because I see someone who is working really hard, really, really hard for our country, and who I see his reputation being tarnished month after month after month. And what does he do? He gets up every day and he holds all of us in cabinet accountable. He tells us we're not doing enough. You have to do more. And Minister Williams is here and she knows it. He keeps pushing us. Our country needs you to do more. And so this is someone who I admire, and this is someone who I would love to see more leaders like this in our country going forward. Leaders who are thinking big, leaders who, in spite of any challenges, whether it's personal challenges to them or challenges to our country like a pandemic, get up and lead us well. And he has been doing that in spite of everything that has been thrown at him. And that says a lot about him and about his commitment to our country.
People, the Office of Economic Growth and Job Creation is under the Prime Minister in them office. You see me I say? So I told you before on this platform, next you're going to hear them a run pan his achievement when it comes to unemployment. Remember, me tell you guys on this platform, say, he might talk about the economy, when my push, without the lies about the economy, and say him have so much money until him can give away money. Listen.
That is why we did something like the reverse tax credit, never before in Jamaica's history, where the government is giving back to people who earn less than $3 million per year. Never before happened. That's a way in which we are making sure that the dividends of the good economic management reaches to the people. Yes, good economic management can yam.
So good economic management, because they say it under him, the Office of Economic Growth and Job Creation. So if I come out, come push something, the economy I do good. We not see it. That's why I say we not see it. Then here Cliff User now let out the Airtime tire and expose him.
Not good news. So the growth we have been having has come to an end. It is now decline. That's where we're into now. And as you heard from Dr. Henry there, for calendar year 2024, we are going to end the year poorer than how we started it, collectively in terms of our output of goods and services. Not good. And therefore, making the connection, the Prime Minister would have been aware of this. He would have been aware of this, or ought to have been aware of this. Hence, what we heard from him on Tuesday, because he would have known that, listen, the economy has stopped growing. It is now declining. Hence, what he told.
Now let's get into the job, the economy of the Prime Minister say might grow and its 8 years achievement, right? Now, made up on the Prime Minister website, right? The Office of the Prime Minister. That is somebody, the OPM. And this is news from the OPM. The Prime Minister Onus highlights achievements leading to a sustainable economy. Posted on June 30th, 2023 by the OPM Communications. Let's look at the Prime Minister's achievements and tell me what you think about them. You guys know the PNPs. I played many times on my platform. I will play it again another day. Well, Prime Minister Andrew Onus has highlighted several achievements that have propelled Jamaica towards more sustainable economy. The Prime Minister says through a combination of prudent policies, strategic national investments, and a commitment to inclusive growth, Jamaica has realized economic stability that has had positive ripple effects throughout the country. The Prime Minister's address highlighted several key accomplishments that have garnered both national and international recognition. Let's look at them. Listen, what the Prime Minister said accomplished. Number one, unemployment rate slashed by 50%, by nearly 50%. Under the Prime Minister's leadership, Jamaica has witnessed a substantial reduction in unemployment, resulting in enhanced economic opportunities for citizens. Prime Minister Onus remarked when we took over in 2016, the unemployment rate was 13.7%. Today, that unemployment rate stands at approximately 7%. That's last year, right? Now them say at 3%. Then they say at 4% last year, and then no this year they must say at 3%. You hear she attack. Number two, access to skills training. That's an accomplishment. This is what the Prime Minister accomplished. Number 3, significant increase in minimum wage. A Prime Minister accomplishment in there. 4, stable exchange rate and debt reduction. And the Prime Minister accomplishment in there. And 5, resilience and recovery. You want to see that? 5 accomplishment on the Prime Minister website. Right? Unemployment rate slashed by nearly 50%. Me don't believe that. Who go out and check the ANCAP, man, and the man decides to hustle this morning? Most people in Jamaica are self-employed. How do they come with that statistics? Anybody ever ask? Anybody in the comment section probably can educate me. How do they come up with that number? 3% of Jamaica unemployed. So you know what me I telling you right now? When you stop sending money to Jamaica. Unemployment rate is very low. It's only 3% of them. So if your family member beg your money, tell yourself go look at a job. Because work for work out there. Don't. Jamaica people, the last time a couple come say that, you know, in the last year when my boss about the 4% unemployment rate, I'm going to say that the Jamaican people, them say, no, I lie, I tell. They don't want their foreign money cut off. People, because stop sending money to Jamaica. Go get pookie them. Tell them go find a job. Whoa, if I work down the 3% unemployment rate, everybody's supposed to have a job. Don't. These people are liars, man. So unemployment rate slashed by nearly 50%. Accomplishment number 1. Accomplishment number 2. Access to skill training enhanced. Now, access to skill training and just data they may not talk about when you can't find skilled workers to do certain thing and if you import worker because I don't know. If you tell the truth here, man, because we can't read, you know. 3, significant increase in minimum wage. Oh, God. When it take forever to give the people my little crumbs in a raise. By the time they get it, inflation just nyam it up. So what the raise there? $15,000 only take 300%. And that is significant. Your accomplishment is significant increase in politician pay. But the accomplishment people, significant increase in minimum wage. A pay make up accomplishment. They don't even real. Stable exchange rate and debt reduction. What exchange rate today? What is the exchange? You know, yesterday I said Jamaica lose to the US dollar yesterday. Yesterday I look run across the news. I'm saying that Jamaica lost to the US dollar again. Where is the stable exchange rate? That is an accomplishment on the page, you know. Them are the man accomplishment on the page, you know. Resilience and recovery. Them are the man accomplishment on the page. He now come with no part program. He now come with no NEPA. He now come with no NHT. Stuff a function for everybody. Now come with no RADA. He now build nothing will work for the people. These are a real accomplishment the PNP come to look on it, you know. That stuff that work for the future. This is an accomplishment that pay a lie. Resilience and recovery. Man, that's nothing. That's an accomplishment. Stable exchange rate. That's a lie. No go so significant increase in minimum wage. That's a lie. Access to skill training, enhanced skill training. A lie when I tell. Lie. Unemployment rate slashed by nearly 50. Who believe that? And that are the man accomplishment. We now lie upon them people, live on the website. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Each and every one I saw. Give it a like, a thumbs up. If for the first time on the platform, you like Wagwan, bless up the page with a thumbs up, no man. Share it, do something, run here. You will come on the platform and say, welcome on my yard, you know. Food cook, you know. Food warm pan stove. Lemonade nice and cool in a fridge. Me have a couple of beer, you can drink couple. You see me? Remote right there so you can Netflix there. Me invite you to my yard, don't just sit down lazy. My bird want to feed it. Feed me fish. Walk my dog, make it go leak. Pick up my meal. Give it a thumbs up. That's all I have to do. Thank you so much, guys. As usual, I'm a student in a class. Please make sure your comments make sense in every sentence. If for the first time on the platform, you like the work and the presentation, make this platform your home. Thank you so much, guys. Talk to you later.
This government has moved the health budget from $60 billion in 2016 to $140 billion in 2023. You would ask the Jamaican people, what have we gotten so far for this increase in budget? This government has moved the health budget from $60 billion in 2016 to $140 billion in 2023. You would ask the Jamaican people, what have we gotten so far for this increase in budget?
No, people often say that doctors don't do anything at the hospital, but then we have a ton of people that we have to work with. Look at this. This is my office. And there's about 100 people on the outside already. Alright, well, after a day's work, I am out. And I'm heading home. Thank God. Alright. This is on the outside. People are lining up to come inside the hospital. How much of them? It's a whole lot, it's a whole heap. A ton of them. Alright, I'm heading home though, I'm happy. I'm heading home. Alright, no problem. It's security. Later. Let's up. It's about 150 of them. Hey, big boy, what's up? You good? Yeah, man. Alright. Welcome to the world of a medical doctor. Alright? I am heading home after a hard day's work. Woo! I tell you. Over 200 persons on the outside. Over 200 people on the outside. Not an easy task. If you can look, see that? Out there, there's about 200 people alone on the outside. So, happy to be. I tell you. I'm home. Happy to be home. Take care.
A collision along the Spanish Town bypass in the vicinity of the Jose Marti roundabout resulted in the hospitalization of 3 males.
Just say no, the JUTC bus have come down and this one coming up the direction and we send up on the wrong side overtaking, you know. So JUCC man take away in driver side from him and he clap in the other side, so the accident happened.
Was injured in the accident, which occurred at approximately 2 p.m. Dr. Clark described the injuries of one of the occupants of the minibus, who was pinned to his seat when he arrived.
I came on the scene and I've noticed one person that was inside the vehicle. I came on late. He had a severe laceration and apparently a broken leg. He's bleeding furiously, but I think he should be okay.
The other males who were traveling inside the minibus were rushed to hospital prior to Dr. Clark's and the fire brigade's arrival in the first vehicle that became available.
We put the next 2 in our hearse because our hearse is dead nearby, so we put them in the hearse. So the hearse carry the next 2 gone. So they look unconscious still. Yeah, but the one here are moving everything.
All ministers under the new Jamaica Labour Party government will be given a job letter. That job letter has a timeline of 2 years and 6 months with key performance targets which are agreed upon by the cabinet, focused on 2 things: economic growth and job creation. Everything that they do must lead towards economic growth and job creation. Failure to achieve those specific targets within the time period are consequential. And then secondly, they will get a 90-day target. In other words, we want to be able to give a report card on the first 100 days of achievements. So they will get a 90-day target that they must achieve, and these are what we call the low-hanging changes.
Grovetown Primary and Infant School, effects of Storm Raphael. We are here, we are sweeping out the water from the classrooms. The students are online because all the classrooms have water, so we are sweeping the water out of the classrooms. The teachers are here helping along with the ancillary workers. This is our dining area and also a classroom, completely underwater. This is the tuck shop area. There's water on the floor. Because of the roof, all the roof is leaking. By the infant department, the decking is leaking. So one classroom, as you saw in the previous video.
A government without a growth plan. That's how opposition leader Andrew Holness has described the Portia Simpson Miller administration. Mr. Holness poured scorn on the government's handling of the economy as he made his contribution to the 2015-2016 budget debate in Parliament on Thursday. More on this report from Tanika Thomas.
For opposition leader Andrew Holness, the government's 3 year in office is tantamount to failure. He says little has been done to ease the financial burden Jamaicans are faced with. Making his budget presentation in Gordon House on Thursday, Mr. Holness argues that Jamaicans are worse off today than they were in 2011 under the former JLP administration. Holness claims rising food prices, a devalued currency, and high unemployment are just some of the failures of the Portia Simpson Miller government. To bring across his point, he returned with his favorite analogy, the food basket, demonstrating how spending power has diminished drastically for a minimum wage earner. He compared what a low-income earner was able to afford in 2011 versus 2015.
This has no oxtail or curry goat. This is the reality of the People's National Party government and the backs of Jamaica. This is what you can get in Jamaica now. You can still get that dinner. You get one tin of sardine. You can only get one tin of mackerel. This is the best demonstration of where the country has gone under the PNP.
Mr. Holness contends that a JLP government would do better at managing the economy. He says if the economy does not grow at a sustainable rate of at least 5%, then the IMF stipulations will become unbearable for nationals.
Me alone are a long time thing this. Them sitting here. Them sitting here real. Fish tail fi eat.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What fi gonna eat no money, what fi at you, eat no at you. COVID money, me say we eat the your little rat you. Use the youth, them money, waste my musta man to statue. Say me like a catch you, but me got in a figure you. Take the spit of money, got long and say that is not you. One day the man above him up, him a got a bet. Too much it in the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% raise.
It burn me.
Garbage pile up the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption please.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out with beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again.